1986, the year of the Chernobyl disaster, the same year that Diego Maradona won the World Cup with Argentina using the hand of God. But in the pro wrestling world, this is the year where we got Starrcade 86 and we got WrestleMania 2, along with a whole bunch of other matches. So what do we have to do? We have to rank the 10 best matches from 1986 according to me. And these are matches that I was basically able to find after hours of scouring through the internet and watching so many different matches. So if I've missed maybe your favorite match from the year 1986, let me know down in the comments and I'll give it a watch. But these are the matches I was able to find and the matches I was recommended. So with that being said, let's get going. So in at number 10, we have a WWF match, in fact, from WWF on the MSG network, which, as far as I understand, was basically just a showcase of some of the MSG shows. This match was a steel cage tag team match between Bruno Sammartino and Tito Santana versus Adrian Adonis and Randy Savage. Now, we did have a Bruno Sammartino tag team steel cage match on the list last year, and you know what? He had another match that made it on the list this year. Apparently, this was his last MSG appearance. I don't know if that is 100% true. I'm assuming he made other appearances, but I think this might have been his last match in the MSG for the WWF, which is quite a big moment. Bruno Sammartino and Tito Santana got the win over Randy Savage and Adrian Adonis. This was a bloody, violent steel cage match, which, you know what, did not overstay its welcome. I think the match was about 9 minutes long. Perfect for this type of match. Perfect, just get in there, do the action, do the violence, get out of there. And that's exactly what they did, because Bruno Sammartino and Tito Santana escaped the cage to get the win. There were some big bumps from the top rope by a couple of the men. Specifically, I think Adrian Adonis had a bump. I think Randy Savage and Tito. Obviously, Bruno Sammartino is not taking, bumps from the top of the cage. But really, really, really enjoyable match. I think it's just the fast pace, the high action, the bloodiness from these matches that I enjoy. And the fact that they don't overstay its welcome. Because a lot of these matches on the top 10 list go on for what feels like forever. And I suppose that's because these guys are putting in the work, and that's why these matches are longer. But doesn't overstay its welcome, but still has all the action necessary. I gave this 3.75 stars, and don't worry, guys, we don't have a whole list of 3.75 stars like in the past. We only have a couple. So with that being said, 3.75 stars, and that was number 10 on our list. Let's move on to number 9 on our list, which was WWF again, this time on NESN, which is, I think, New England something something. Someone did tell me in the comments down below, so thank you for that in our last video. This was Ricky Steamboat taking on Bret Hart. I had to scour the internet for this match. I don't think many people have seen this match, but I am glad I did see this match. Now, Ricky Steamboat did come out with the win here. This match took place on the 8th of March 1986. This is obviously Bret Hart, not in his prime yet. Neither is Ricky Steamboat in his prime yet. But obviously still two very fantastic workers, some of the best in wrestling at this point still. But great match from the two men who still have so much to offer in the business, but they still put on a great match here. And this might not be on everybody's list because it's just one of those matches you really have to look for to find, but I found it. They gave Bret Hart the pin over Steamboat, but the ref was out, which was quite surprising. But Ricky Steamboat eventually got the win over Bret Hart, considering Ricky Steamboat is the more established wrestler, and Bret Hart is still a tag team wrestler at this point. It makes sense. Really, really, really fun match, really good match, technical wrestling match, 3.75 stars. I wish we got this match 4 or 5 years down the line. 3, 4, 5 years down the line. That would have been incredible, absolutely incredible. But anyway, let's move on to number 8 on our list, and we move to All Japan Pro Wrestling. Of course we do, and it's from the Giant Series 1986 Tag 17 show, where we had Jumbo Tsuruta taking on Stan Hansen in a singles match for the NWA International Heavyweight Championship. Jumbo Tsuruta came out with the victory. This was an absolute bloodbath from both men, but especially Jumbo Tsuruta was bleeding like you can't believe. So much blood pouring from his face. If you want to see a Crimson Mask, you go look at that match. This was just big beanie man slapping meat, as Big E would like to say. This literally was just two big guys just beating the hell out of each other, and it was really, really fun. I think this match could have been higher on my list, but unfortunately, Stan Hansen, with the roll-up that Jumbo Tsuruta got on Stan Hansen, Stan Hansen's shoulders weren't down. That was disappointing because Jumbo got the win, but Stan's shoulders weren't down completely. Maybe that's led to more or a bit of a conflict between them and it continued like the story. But disappointing, disappointing. Could have been much higher on this list, I think, because it was absolutely enjoyable, hard hitting match. Which you just love to see that. What more? We can't complain. Number 7 on our list from the 27th of November 1986. This is an NWA Starrcade match, the only match on this list from Starrcade, and that was the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, as they took on the Minnesota Wrecking Crew of Arn and Ole Anderson in another tag team steel cage match. We don't see much of those anymore, but I've had a good couple of those on my lists, so that's real surprising. The NWA World Tag Team Championships on the line. The Rock and Roll Express get the victory. This match also is one of those matches that could have been higher if not for the finish. So basically, this is a very long match, and this main evented one of the venues for Starrcade. If you guys want my full review on this match, you can go over and check my Starrcade 86 video. I think it is the last video on this channel. But enjoyable match, long match, which was of course needed considering it's the main event for one of the venues. But they got some heat on Robert Gibson for quite a while and Ricky Morton, but specifically Robert Gibson, I think. One of the two. They got some heat on them for a very, very long time. And I think we were just waiting for the hot tag coming and coming. I think it was Ricky Gibson, or not Ricky Gibson, sorry, Robert Gibson that was waiting to get that hot tag in. And it just never came. It just never came. They won, the Rock and Roll Express won before that hot tag ever really came into play, and I think that was disappointing. I really needed that hot tag. You could have had that hot tag, let them go for 20 seconds, and then get the pin, because I think how the pin happened again was it was a drop kick from Ricky Morton to Gibson, who was already in like a crossbody position, over onto one of the Andersons. I think that was this match, and gets the victory. But yeah, just an underwhelming end to a very, very good match. But still fantastic. Still 3.75 stars for this match. I'm criticizing this match heavily because I feel it could have been higher on this list. Really, really fantastic pro wrestling. Up until their finish, brilliant stuff. And that is why it's earned its place as the 7th best match of 1986. We then had number 6 on my list, and it is at a WWF house show for that matter. So this is also deep diving into the archives here. For the Intercontinental Champion, we had Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat. Of course, we are now building up to the iconic match at WrestleMania 3. Is this the match? This might be. If not, I think that is to come. No, this is not the match. There is a match, obviously, which I did watch, but it didn't make the list, which was the Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat match, where they actually led up to the story between Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat at WrestleMania, where Randy Savage got his larynx destroyed by Ricky Steamboat. No, sorry, Ricky Steamboat got his larynx destroyed by Randy Savage. But that wasn't this match. This was a match building up to that. This was excellent. High work rates, hard hitting, bloody from both men, and a number of near falls as well to add to this. I did not expect a house show, just a random house show. I'm not talking about an event. I'm talking about a WWF house show. It's not televised, nothing, to be one of the matches of the year. And it made it to the top 6. That was honestly great stuff. The best match I've seen from them to this date. Obviously, we still have the WrestleMania 3 match to come, so we'll see if that can top this. Really, really good stuff. 4 stars for this match. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Ricky Steamboat did get the win via countout, which was unfortunate. But really, really good match because they made the count out work still. I was just happy I didn't see the finish which I've seen multiple times from Randy Savage now, where they go for a back suplex and Randy Savage uses an object to hit the other person. I've seen that finish so many times from Randy Savage now. So I'm just glad they didn't use that one. Let's move on to number 5, where we go to AWA, where we had an event there with Nick Bockwinkel taking on Curt Hennig for the AWA World Heavyweight Championship. This was a long match. It went to a 60-minute time limit draw, and this was really, really, really good wrestling. Fantastic technical wrestling, mat-based pro wrestling from the start, which you can expect from Nick Bockwinkel and from Kurt Hennig, of course, who later becomes Mr. Perfect when he moves to WWF. But bloody and violent as well. That adds to it, especially the last 5 minutes of this match was just all guns blazing. There were times this match where it did drag on a bit, which I think is why it capped out at the 4-star mark. By the way, 4-star match, which I think is why it capped out there. But still excellent work. Nothing to fault really. I really enjoyed the match. Sometimes 60-minute matches can really be a drag to watch, but this was enjoyable. This was enjoyable for sure. Kurt Hennig still has a lot to do in the business. Maybe I thought he should have won, but he does have another match with him this year. I'm not sure if he wins that. I cannot remember. I watched bits and pieces of it, but it wasn't hitting the same as this match did. This match was really, really good. 4 stars, like I say. Let's move on to our top 4. We then go to the NWA Great American Bash Tour of 1986, and this is tag 4, where we see Ric Flair take on Ricky Morton in a steel cage match. When I saw this match recommended to me, I was like, whoa, Ric Flair versus Ricky Morton. That happened? And I was like, okay, I have to watch this. And I'm glad I did. This was a steel cage match. Fantastic match with some of the best selling this year by far. Some of the best selling I've seen in pro wrestling by far. The heat Ric Flair gets on Ricky Morton with the crowd's reaction is just insane. And it made the comeback from Ricky Morton all the more special, especially the crowd's reaction to that comeback. It was just simply incredible. Ric Flair, of course, did get the win in the end. But this match was honestly so good, and I'm not surprised considering who's in this match. Ricky Morton at the top of his game at this point, and I think he still gets better, but his selling was just incredible. He looked like a bloody mess. Of course, Ric Flair then became a bloody mess after Ricky Morton's comeback. Really, really great stuff. I'm glad I watched this match. One of the truly great Ric Flair matches on a list of so many, so that list is massive. But honestly, fantastic stuff. Really, really good. We now move into our top 3 matches. And this is a match which I think many would claim to be their number 1 match of 1986. But I didn't feel that way. I don't know why. I thought it was excellent. It's top 3 match. Excellent, excellent match. Something was missing from me. And I think that's a little bit unfortunate. But it's still such a good match. We then moved on to the New Japan IWGP Champion Series of 1986, where we had Akira Maeda take on Tatsumi Fujunami in an IWGP League 1986 Block 4 match. The match ended in a double KO, which I think was a cool idea. Maybe not executed 100%, but still executed very, very well at the end of the day. Like, it didn't look like a botch by any means, but I think the impact wasn't as impactful as they would have liked. Still very good. Epic blend of pro wrestling and shoot style work. Of course, Akira Maeda with his kicks of death. I would not want to be kicked by that man by any means. In fact, he accidentally kicked or caught Tatsumi Fujinami with the spinning heel kick, which caused bleeding straight away and a lot of blood. This was intense. You could feel the tension for sure. Absolutely fantastic pro wrestling match, and that is why I gave it 4.5 stars. Dave Meltzer did give this match a 5-star rating, but I just felt maybe, for me, not quite that 5-star mark. I don't know why. Maybe there was just a lack of intensity at certain parts of the match, because it would go from strikes to bring it back down to nothing and basically a hold, which is fine. But I think if you're looking for a 5-star match, you're looking for like almost constant action, and then they bring you down, and then they bring it back up, and they stay up. Not constant up and down, up and down, up and down. But still fantastic pro wrestling. Like, I am just giving my reasons as to why it's not my number 1 match, because it is a lot of people's number 1 match of 1986. In fact, it's some people's top matches of New Japan history. With that being said, let's move on to our number 2 match, which was Ric Flair taking on Barry Windham. Ric Flair, obviously the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. This took place at NWA Battle of the Belts 2. Ended in a double countout, which may be a little bit disappointing, but still really, really good match. Absolutely fantastic showcase from both men. They put on a wrestling clinic. But the finish did take away from the match slightly. However, Barry Windham was just absolutely fantastic in this match. He looks so elegant in the ring. His work is fantastic. His work is clean. And for a guy that looks so tall, and that can sometimes be a little bit of a difficult thing to do, to work with, he honestly fit perfectly in there with Ric Flair. I thoroughly enjoyed this match. I gave it 4.5 stars. Second best match of the year 1986. Another 5-star match from Dave Meltzer, but perhaps I thought it just fell slightly short from that. But really good match, and I absolutely loved it from start to finish. We then had our number one match of the year 1986. All Japan Pro Wrestling New Year Wars Super Battle 1986 Tag 25. That is a mouthful. We got Ichiro Tenryu and Jumbo Tsuruta as they took on Ishii Gundan, which is Riki Choshu, and Yoshiaki Yatsu. This is an NWA International Tag Team Championship match where Tenryu and Tsuruta ended up getting the win. This was absolutely fantastic from bell to bell. They worked an incredible pace for the most part of the match, which honestly, the perfect way to describe this match is controlled chaos, because it was chaotic, but in a controlled manner. At no point did I feel like, oh, this has just got out of hand now. This was really good. Riki Choshu had the crowd in the palm of his hands, and his selling was incredible because obviously he had already injured ribs, which I think he had for large parts of 1986. And obviously the crowd just fed into his selling, and of course the heels just fed into that target of having the injured ribs, and they just built heat on him. Incredible match. This is the best match of 1986 for me, hands down. It got me excited from start to finish. There was not too many low points, not too many points of where it's just, okay, you guys are buying time here. These guys did not waste time at all in this match. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was the best match of 1986. With that being said, that is my top 10 list of the year 1986. You guys let me know, what is your top matches of 1986? Because I know we all have differing opinions. And like someone said last time, no Hulk Hogan, how is that possible? We have another list with no Hulk Hogan, unfortunately. I would like to have Hulk Hogan matches, but they just don't cut the list. I mean, these are the 10 best matches of the year. And yes, Hulk Hogan was arguably the biggest champion of the year. He just didn't quite make the cut. I think Ric Flair was just on another level at this point in terms of in-ring quality. Hulk Hogan, in terms of a spectacle, right up there. In-ring quality, these guys made the cut. So, let me know your lists. Let me know what matches you think I missed out on, and I'll let you know either why I didn't think, or if it was close consideration, because there were a lot of 3.75s that just didn't make a 4-star match that were cut from this list. So they were rated just as good as these first 4 matches, 10 through 7, but I just enjoyed these ones more. Maybe for whatever reason, I enjoyed them slightly more. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all the support you guys have given me and given this channel, and we will continue to grow. I do have a special video coming out soon. I can't give you guys an exact timeline because I got college, so sometimes things do get in the way. But I got a special video coming out soon, and it may just have something to do with the Von Erichs and the Freebirds. So stay on the lookout for that. Put those notification bells on, and you will know exactly when it drops. With that being said, we have Elimination Chamber 2025 coming out this weekend. We will be sure to review that. And then going into next week, we will be doing WrestleMania 3 and Starrcade 1987. See you guys there. Peace.